Hey guys, what's up? Here for another hike today. We are hiking into a area of the Patapsco State Park. It's a pretty short loop, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that it's only about 3 or 3.5 miles to be determined. I'm going to assume that Christine is going to use one of her apps to measure how far we go. Is that the case?
I will. Sorry.
Get on
that. I will.
Anyway, so we're here at the Patapsco Valley State Park Cascade Falls Trail. It is they say that the full loop, I guess, is 2.3 miles, so a pretty short hike today. If we can stay on the trail and it is well marked, we will see. This trail is open to all kinds of hiking, so you can bring your horse on here, you can bike it, you can hike it as a person, you can bring your kids, you can bring your dogs. I think your dog needs to stay on a leash. And this particular, we're sort of ducking in one of the communities nearby. We parked in a legal parking space, but you'll notice along the south side of this park and these trailheads that they've posted no parking signs everywhere because they don't want people parking on the side of the road. So we picked a legal parking spot in a neighborhood and walked a few blocks to get to the trailhead. I guess we're going with Nike Run app. And so come along with us on this hike. Does that make any sense? Let's see.
Go take a hike.
Yeah, let's go take a hike.
Okay, this is going to sound really weird, but do you know what the ground looks like? Do you ever eat Raisin Bran? And the bran flakes at the end of the bowl? They get all like mushy and congealed. That's what this looks like to me.
It's a little bit damp and muddy out here today.
Trail conditions, bottom of bowl Raisin Bran trail conditions.
But
I forgot they had the little they had some crossings covered, I think.
yeah, you can hear the water already. I've only been
squelching underfoot. Don't get to use that word very often.
Yeah, I've only been on this trail a couple of times. Normally,
Aspen.
Yeah, I think that these are aspens. We were trying to figure this out. We were in upstate New York over the weekend, looking at farm properties, and we were trying to decide if we were smart and remember that those are actually aspens, like the quaking aspen, where all winter those little whitish leaves stay on the tree.
I looked it up. I'm pretty sure.
Is that what it is? Okay, so.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, but I got that other bush maybe wrong, so.
Yeah.
Me being pretty sure, being not a horticulturist.
Yeah, I seem to remember that being the case. But
ever since taking the tree pruning and weed warrior classes.
Hello.
Hi. With Tree Keeper Baltimore, anytime I see vines going up a tree, I want to stop and save them.
Well. And
I never remember to bring my saw.
That might be an item that gets just kept in the
backpack.
The old backpack, or at least, I mean, I know I've got a couple. I think you have a couple.
I do have a couple.
So we could certainly keep,
I think probably get better at telling the difference between
poison ivy and regular ivy.
Yeah. Since there were several times where you're like, stop, don't touch
that. Yeah. That's a good one. If you don't know what a quaking aspen is, you should absolutely know what poison ivy is. But I was just thinking, so I think I have that pocket boy, like the smallest one that they make, which is really good. And if we get one of those and just put it in the backpack, it's just like for backpacking.
It's just there. Good idea.
Because I use those other ones all the time.
In fact, we did
And
that.
if I had to go find them and they were in the backpack, I would never remember where it was.
We should do the hike in Druid Hill Park again and see how our vine removal did. last summer.
I'm trying to. So what was that? Kudzu or what was that?
What's the other one? I think it was
Yeah.
kudzu.
So
There's
some
kudzu and ivy. I think it was
Yeah.
kudzu.
So some years ago we became tree keepers for Baltimore City, which gives us the ability to do forestry on behalf of Baltimore City legally and keep, you know, our local area nice. And one of the things that the tree keepers organize around is getting rid of invasive vines. And if you know anything about invasives, you know that oftentimes the reason that the invasives are invasives is if you take a chunk or rip them up or cut them up, all the pieces left behind become new plants. Hey guys. So one of the most important things to remember about it really is to get rid of the vines once you've cut them.
Yeah, which means we need a little
Yeah.
takeout bag too.
So what we took to doing, because it makes it easy when you're hiking, is basically just cutting a small chunk out of the vine towards the base and taking that out. So the whole top part dies, greatly weakening the invasive, but it doesn't get to propagate because, you know, obviously it's in place on the tree or whatever it's on, and it just dies in place and then can't propagate.
It makes me sad because I really like ripping them off the tree,
But for the long term,
best
that's
approach.
the best practice.
I know.
It's not quite as satisfying, but it does the most amount of damage to the invasive with the least amount of work.
Yeah.
So let someone else on a cleanup day come and dig the root out.
That's just going to make me want to do cleanup days now. 'Cause I'm weird that way. It's very satisfying. Oh, look at are those dachshunds?
They look like they're half Dotson, half Calahula, which is really weird. Let's see. Let's ask the ladies what they are when we get up here.
Never heard of a Calahula. Oh, they're cute.
Hey, how are you?
You know what they remind me of? Remember those?
So are these Dotson and Calahula?
They're just dachshunds.
Just Dotson? Hey! They have you?
He's still learning, so
Yeah.
Yes. So they're called dapple and piebald. The white one he's got a piebald color, and this one's a silver dapple.
Gotcha.
You're both very pretty. It's
There's
not
a
real noisy.
there's a dog, a Calahula sheepdog, or it's a New Orleans, like Louisiana
I think I know
hunting
what
dog
you're talking
that
about.
have that kind of coat pattern,
Right.
and they usually have mismatched
Yes,
eye colors,
I know what
and
you're talking
so I thought, well, maybe, you know,
Yeah, they're both.
somebody had a wild night out, and good seeing you. Take Happy New Year. All right. Well, that was a lot of barking.
I was like, I'm gonna pet him anyway, and then I thought, you
Yeah.
know, maybe his bark is as bad as his bite. I'm just gonna keep my hands up where he can't reach him.
So we managed to survive the Dotson times.
They were the dachshund of times.
Yeah, and
They were the best of times.
neither of them managed to eat our faces off, and we're on to mile second half. I don't even think we've done a mile yet.
No.
It's just very muddy.
It feels longer when it's well squashed. Oh, how pretty.
Yeah.
So this one, if I remember, this trail is fairly flat in this part, and then it gets hilly.
Yeah.
So it's hilly in the middle,
Yeah.
and then it flattens out.
Well, I don't know what branch this is, but you've got a waterway that comes in off the south side of Patapsco Park. And if you are familiar with the park systems in Maryland, you will know that Patapsco State Park is a series of a whole bunch of different park areas, state run, that go along the Patapsco River, and they all end up in a very much a steep valley, which is the riverbed. So, as you hike in, you've got these flatter areas, but then once you get towards the Patapsco River, which is the center of the park, it goes downhill very quickly in a lot of places.
So the Patapsco, I actually never asked this question.
Uh-huh.
Is the park only connected by the river, or does all of the park property actually touch? I've been under the impression it does not touch.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, it kind of does, but yes, it's bisected by the river. So,
But like, I feel like you can go places in 3 different counties, and they're all Patapsco State Park. And you're
true.
like, how is this still Patapsco?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, like, if you were to go along the trails and the river, they do actually connect. Hey guys, what's that? We did not lose a dog.
Did you find a dog?
Is this? Did you?
No,
Oh,
another
oh.
dog running back and forth looking for.
Because I was going to say, you're awfully cute. I'll take you home.
Yeah. I know.
Like, no.
Little one though, running back and forth looking.
No.
There's some dachshunds back up that way, but I don't think he got this far ahead.
Yeah. So no,
But if
not
you see
ours.
anybody, we'll let him know. Thank you. It occurred to me as I put my foot in the water, I wonder
So-
if these are waterproof.
Did we start off on yellow or blue?
Blue.
Okay. So I'm trying to
both
decide
blue.
if we go this way or this way. I mean, I think that,
So the comment on this park
yeah,
was at the intersections, they're not well
let's go
marked.
this way. And we'll see. This might turn into a 5-mile hike. I don't know. This might be one of our patented finish the hike in the dark hikes if we're not careful, but we'll see what happens.
I don't have any light, nor do I know this one.
Hey guys.
Hey there. Hello. This path, I believe, goes up towards the water.
Yep. So I
I
think,
don't know if we've ever gone that other road.
yeah, so I think that this is the one we stay on.
Which is too bad because I do really like this trail. It's lovely, especially
Mhm.
when it's not muddy. But it would be nice if it was marked better.
So for anybody that watched our hike of the Gunpowder area last week, you may have remembered that we were sort of surprised that it was so warm. It was the day after Christmas, and that we had gone out for a winter hike, but were quite hot and sweaty because of the temperature. Well, today is January 2nd.
2022.
Hey guys, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
So today is January 2nd, the second day of the new year, 2022. And I am hiking in a short sleeve shirt because it is 60 degrees. However, tomorrow, according to the weather, we're gonna get snow. So we'll see what happens. I'm taking the Billy Goat path.
Oh.
There's also a low road here.
like we might be, not in a bad way, but I feel like we might be doing a loop backwards. I think this is, maybe I'm wrong. I'm watching
There is no right or wrong way.
Fair enough.
That's why they call it a loop.
I know, I'm like, I'm in the woods and I still want to follow rules. This is why it's good for me to be outside more. Growing up, we had a swath of woods behind the house. And in my head, it felt this deep and big. I'm sure it was like one house wide. But I used to go in there and I felt like I got lost and I was off adventuring, and you know, I'd be clearing spaces out and had gardens back in the woods. I hope whoever those people were, they found their feet.
Yeah, I wouldn't step right there. I feel like that's bad news. So I will tell you,
in front, and that way if I slip, at least
yeah,
you'll have some fun.
we were just discussing this sort of upgrading our hiking boots a tiny bit, but I will tell you that I bought these old Merrells quite a long time ago, and
that part is very suspicious.
yeah, and come on, Road Jam. Your boots are waterproof. And I was just,
them in a very long time.
come on, go.
Do you want me to move?
Yeah,
Is that what you're looking
yes,
for?
go. Hey guys.
Why do you let the tentative person go in front then?
So anyway, so I bought these Merrells quite a while ago for hiking because my old hiking boots had given up, and the guy says to me, he's like, I don't know, he's like, these are pretty good, but you know, the soles are super stiff and I don't know if you'll like that, and you know, if you're doing a long day hike, your feet are probably going to hurt. I love these boots. They've taken care of me immensely, and they're surprisingly waterproof even now, although they could probably use a good coating. But I remember the day I hiked the first time ever in them, I stepped ankle deep into a giant mud puddle, like that was just mud. It was like, it wasn't just water, it was just, you know, and they came out 100% clean. And my mind was absolutely blown that they were that hydrophobic. And that's not to say that I'm trying to step into the water, because the water right here is a good foot deep, which would be well above the top of my boots.
You know what's funny? I have gators. I never think about it. You said my boots are waterproof. They may be, but I haven't included them in I don't know how long.
Mine are still pretty good, although honestly, like looking at them now, that whole, you know, yeah, like it's in there a little bit. It's not getting through, but like before, they would look bone dry and the water would just bead right off. So I think
Time to do some waterproofing.
it's probably time to get a can of spray
I might have
and
some.
coat them up really good.
I have all the gear. I just forget to use it.
Yeah.
Doesn't do my much good.
I wonder what you got planted here. Let's see. Out of curiosity, forestry and identifying plants has become more and more interesting to us. So I'm assuming that this is a native species of tree that they've got in a cage so the deer don't eat the seedlings. If you know what it is, leave a comment for us. I'm gonna guess that it is some kind of cedar, or maybe a, what's the other one? Hemlock is my guess. Hey guys. Which I know both of those like the water. Yep, there's another one down there. So they've done a little bit of selective planting to get some nice natives that will grow enormous eventually in this area, which is lovely. Very much yeah. So that's, I don't know if that's the I don't think that's the Cascade. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah. And he likes it a lot.
So obviously the Cascade Loop is a relatively popular hiking trail. I've only been on it a few times, and maybe that's why I don't come on it too often, because it is pretty heavily trafficked. It's not quite as, yeah, it's not quite as quiet and sparsely populated as some of the trails I like to do. But it is a nice trail, certainly. Obviously, we have seen more people so far on this 1 mile of hiking than we saw on the last hike total. Oh, here we go. There's the actual falls that the trail is named after. And you got lots of people down here exploring the falls and taking pictures. And you know, I'm just gonna hike down this way, and then we'll take a look at the thing from the thing. All right, so we're gonna deviate from the main hiking trail a tiny bit so we can go down and take a quick gander at the falls from the cliff edge here. So here we go. There's the Cascade Falls. Obviously pretty accessible. Not a hard hike to get down to. Probably less than a mile from the southern edge of the park, and you can see they've got stairs cut into the hill there. If a tiny Pomeranian on a leash can get down here, you can get down here. And then it moves down, as you can see. We were just doing a little bit of reconnoitering with the All Trails map, because as we stated before, these trails are not very well marked. You're not going to really get lost. You know, it's all pretty straightforward. But that being said, we're just looking at doing kind of a short hike today, so we don't want to get waylaid and wind up doing a 7-mile hike when the intention was to do a 3-mile hike. And this is like getting to the top of K2. There's a queue to get across the falls. Come on, Billy Goat, you got it.
I'm trying. Just go a little far.
I mean, I will give you, the rocks are kind of slippery and wet today, so you don't want to go busting your head.
Well, I really wanted to be where she was, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
that's why I was waiting to see if she was going to go fast.
Yeah.
When you're like, go, I'm like, well, I'm waiting her to get her foot off the rock.
I know. I would. I just elbow a kid, knock him right into the water. That's how I roll. Trail rules.
It's not how I roll. I'm not from the mean streets of Patapsco Park. I mean, trails of Patapsco Park.
So yeah, on one hand, I absolutely love that there are so many people out here hiking and enjoying this park. And on the other hand, I don't want to see any of them.
That's the nice thing about the winter. Why you like hiking, I think, more when it gets cold.
I mean, I don't want to be completely antisocial. I don't mind running into some people on the trail and wishing them a happy new year or a good morning or whatever, but it's the reason that people in small towns say good morning to you, and New Yorkers would never say good morning. Because you can only do it so many times, and then you feel like, okay, I've said it like I meant it the first 10 times. the next 40 times I was like, oh, I said it to the first 10 people.
You know
I should probably say it to these guys. But then after about 60 times, you're like, oh, you can't
I figure
anymore.
half of the people out here don't want to talk to anyone either. So.
I'm gonna, maybe I'll start reserving my good mornings for people that look particularly grumpy and unhinged, like they've been having a horrible day, so that you can say it and smile and hopefully change their perspective a little bit. Hey, change their perspective a little bit. I don't know. All right, so
You just tell them, go take a hike.
yeah, go take a hike. If I remember correctly, what we want to do is we want to just go straight. We don't want to go down there.
I believe you are correct.
So technically speaking, this would be the trailhead to the park. You have a way to drive into the park, and there's parking, and there's restrooms, and there's all this pavement down here and whatnot.
Bridges.
And that down there is, you can see off in the distance, that is the bottom of the valley. That is the Patapsco River. We are not going to go down there. We're going to continue this way.
Is there a path across that bridge?
There is. There's the some would say infamous swinging bridge is right down at the bottom of this hill, which I don't know. I just thought it sounded better calling it infamous. I mean, I know over the years I've taken a lot of photos on it, and I've swung it really hard and bounced on it to make it kind of scary, which a lot of people do. It is cabled, so it has a lot of give, and if you get a couple people kind of rhythmically jumping.
It occurred to me to do that. It sounds like a very, very George thing.
Yeah. It's a lot of people thing. So, I believe if we follow this trail this way...
Do you want to go in front of me?
Sure.
I feel like you're in my, breathing down my neck. You just don't want to watch me braid my hair, right? I don't blame you.
This isn't a makeup and hair channel.
I have to get it out of the way. It's getting tangled. I have crazy hair.
So, if I remember correctly, basically there is no other way to take this trail this direction except for back to where we came. So if we just follow it and stay to the right, it will go around the outside of this loop, which will connect to the main trail on the south side of the park, and take us back to where we came from. We go up this ridge. To listen to the birds for a second, see if we can hear them above the cars. Here's one of the branches that come down to the Patapsco. I definitely made the right call. I'm literally hiking in just a t-shirt and I'm sweating.
Even I'm hiking in a t-shirt now.
All right, so I think this is the right way. It's hard to know for sure. I'm gonna have to check on my map. Yep. All right. So we're going to make the next left, whatever trail intersects with this on the left up here. And then we're going to just stay to the right. And that should get us where we want to go. Here we are, Cascade Trail. Thanks, Maryland State Park Service. So this, yeah.
So remember I was telling you the Park Service charges per vehicle during the weekday, but per person in the vehicle on weekends?
Uh-huh.
What would prevent you from just emptying the car out before you parked? Like everybody get out, walk in. You get charged walking in too, or is it just per vehicle?
I would assume that you get charged walking in too. It's that interesting thing, right? This definitely plays into the conversations we've been having about how America is set up. I don't want to make this a political blog, but
I just
yeah.
thought it was interesting because I'm not used to living, like I've lived in Maryland for a very long time, but I'm not used to living places where you have to
Hike, yeah. Hey guys. Yeah, you would think that as a citizen of America and a citizen of Maryland, that we would prioritize things in a way where this public land was truly public. And arguably, maybe if you are a lower income earner family, let's just say, and you got 5 or 6 kids and you're looking for a free or inexpensive way to enjoy family time, that you would just be allowed to come in. And that
the thing that's more confusing to me is that some are paid and some are not. I mean, I realize it's federal park, but like Fort McHenry, you don't pay for it.
Yeah, well,
Just to go on the land.
yeah. So I appreciate the fact that they have to pay for these parking lots somehow, and the restrooms and the trail maintenance and all those things. And my only argument is that if we all paid $1, all of us, and we allocated it towards this, it could be maintained way nicer than it is now, and it would forego the
Park fees.
the necessity to penalize people that are trying to actually use the land that is arguably our land.
Yeah.
You know,
I
it's
didn't mean to get
it's
you
literally public
fired. I
land.
didn't mean to get you fired up.
Okay, sorry.
I was just curious.
I will let that go. Lay that one to rest.
Ooh, this is a good little
Yeah,
place.
this is the thing, is like, this is the cardio section, because the Cascade part is all downhill and it's really long and sloping. Whew. I'll take a second to show you that we've already hiked, 150 feet of elevation in just a few feet.
Wow, look at the size of that vine too.
Yeah,
Tree's dead, but so's the vine.
yeah. There's still plenty to go. But yeah, this is a nice little one. It's short. It's only less than 3 miles. But you get the leisurely stroll downhill next to the waterfall. And then a solid cardio hike getting back up to the ridge. Because this path just goes straight up the edge of the branch.
What I really like is in the summertime with all these little pools you can splash in. And this is a trail mountain markers mode too. Do we climb all the way to the ridge or do we stay in the middle?
I think it switches back up there.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it goes all the way to the top. It's been a couple days since we've done this one.
Couple second break.
I wish I had water with me. Oh. Oh, this was an aspen.
Yeah.
Based on the leaves, right?
I don't know.
I didn't know they
honestly,
got that big. Well,
Yeah.
if the leaves, if we were right about the leaves, then this is an aspen.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what type of tree this is.
I kind of
You know.
wish I had a knife.
My,
I'm guessing everybody else has done the same thing.
Here you go.
Thanks. Oh, you shouldn't have. It's a perfect fit. Thank you.
So yeah, again, oh, woodpecker.
Right up here, I think. He's like, stop pulling stuff off my dead tree.
That's where the good bugs are.
Wow. So this is the, yeah.
Yeah,
Right
so
there.
here's the tree. That's where that chunk fell out of, and there's another
Wow.
piece up there.
Talk about a widowmaker.
Yeah,
Holy crap, look at that. So
That's
that
a-
whole thing was
that was a big
branch.
chunk.
That was a branch?
Yeah, that was right there in the middle.
Oh my gosh.
So it was half the tree fell off. And that depilated woodpecker,
Pileated.
pileated, that's right, not depilated, but pileated. The pileated woodpecker is pissed off because we're screwing up his bug supply.
There were termites in there I was saving for dessert. How dare you? Whew. Yeah, it's pretty far above the
Yeah, no, it's a pretty quick,
parking lot.
it's a pretty quick ascent, I have to say. Not too shabby. I was thinking about instituting the huff and puff meter, you know, rating the hikes on how hard they are depending on how much I huff and puff, but I kind of feel like I'm getting less huffy and puffy, so I don't think it would be a very good meter.
It's a very subjective and variable meter.
But I will say the quick little ascent up this ridge is definitely a good cardio workout. I'm sure some of you are watching this and you're like, oh my God, what a sissy. We run up that in my trail running club
You know what I say? God
With-
bless you, sir.
with 75-year-old grandmas. Come on, dude. Well, it's a cardio workout for me.
When I first started hiking with my parents, I was little, probably 5 or 6 years old, and they belonged to this hiking club, and everybody was retired, so they're all in their 60s and 70s. And I remember at that age going, these retired people they're in such good shape. Like, I was exhausted. So I feel like now that those numbers are starting to get, you know,
Now we're,
Slightly more
well,
visually
yeah, so,
distant.
and let's be realistic. We're not too far off from being those people.
exactly. So I got a lot to do to get in better shape before then, because I don't feel like I could tire a 5-year-old out right now.
I tell you that I think, what was it? It seems like it just happened, but I realize that it's been like 3 or 4 years now. I was in Korea visiting family, and a very close family friend. And
Shout out,
when,
hi, John.
hey, John Starling and the Starling crew, and got the opportunity to borrow a motorcycle to travel all around some of the mountainous islands in the south of Korea. And I would go into these super rural areas, and I mean, we're talking 600-700 foot elevations, these roads, you know, just like straight up paved road, but you know, just a road up the side of a mountain. And as I'm coming down the other side, there'd be like this, you know, old Korean couple, like in their 80s, in like sweet ass hiking gear, you know, like totally pimped out from the 90s, just power walking up the hill. I was always blown away. But there's, you know, that people, Koreans love to hike. It's just like it's a passion, an obsession in Korea. So yeah, man, I hope I can get there, because I don't think I've ever hiked up a hill that fast, looking that stylish.
You've got a lot more mass to move than the other Korean
It's
hikers
true.
do.
You know, generally speaking, Koreans are relatively short and squat. You know, a lot of leg power and a lot less mass than me.
Half to a third your size.
When you're 6'6" and 250 pounds, it's a little more energy. There's a little more energy required to push all that up the side of a mountain. All right, so my assumption is we're going this way. It is very much not marked, but I'm just going to go with my gut instinct. I know what direction we need to go in.
Right here.
What?
Marker.
Yeah? Oh. Yeah, after the split. What is this? New Jersey? They give you the exit sign after the exit.
Let me go. I missed it.
Yeah.
I bet the next town up moves it, so you have to go visit them
Yeah.
before you turn around.
Judging by the all trails map of this area, I think that this and that would easily connect.
I think so too.
You know, I think that that's just a different,
The high it's
route and the
probably
lower
people
route.
who have over time not seen that marker.
Yeah. And when this makes sense, let's go up here.
I'm pretty sure we turn and then all of a sudden they connect to this path.
Yeah, there are a lot of side trails and scrambles in here that are not marked well.
I mean, pretty much you're sandwiched by road, so as long as you know where your cardinal directions are, you can get out. Says the person who has no idea where cardinal directions are.
Yeah, well,
But I understand the theory of it. I'm all about the theory.
I'm good at it. I know which direction we need to go. The only question is, which trail do we take?
Well, that's good. I'm following you. You are like walking behind a wall, but that's okay.
So you can take the lead if you like.
Okay, I don't know where I'm going.
This,
Oh, it's beautiful.
yeah, I kind of feel like if
This
you were,
looks super healthy, actually. Look at
Yeah.
how nice and a lot of variety, a lot of space.
Yeah.
Not too much downed wood.
yeah, well, you've got, so I was trying to figure out what this is. I'm assuming that that is either a cedar
It kind of looks cedarish.
or a
You said hemlock?
hemlock is what I think. And that is what in the other ravine, they had planted little saplings and put cages around them to get them started.
And so, see, I would have said birch, but these look like these are aspens too. If we agree that those leaves are.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna have to get way better at this. I feel like if you're watching this video and you're like, come on, dude, that's a linden or that's a whatever it is.
If you're local, come on a hike with us and tree identify.
Yeah.
We just had to figure out.
We will get better. it is our goal. It's our promise to you that pretty soon we'll be like, oh yeah, so this is a lot of blah 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 in this forest, and it's because of the soil type. Yeah.
Soil conditions.
But we're not there yet.
Leaf pattern.
We're trying to do better.
I'll do better. Maybe I'll start doing botanical drawings of the trees that we see, because that helps it stick in my head. If I do, I'll have you insert it someplace.
Okay.
I'm going to start with an aspen, though. I think I have to figure out. I'm going to start with the difference between an aspen and a birch.
Yeah.
I feel like
Well, it's definitely, I hate to be definite because I'm not definite, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's definitely not a birch.
Okay.
And the reason is because from everything I remember, it's just way too warm here. They just don't survive.
Oh, birch like cold?
Yeah, they need a colder climate. So they do. So yeah, there's a lot of different types of birch, but they all have that sort of papery bark that sheds as they get bigger.
I just said that and I was like, yeah, probably birch. I think I just talked myself into it.
Yeah.
Being something else, but I'm still gonna look it up.
So yeah, whatever the silvery gray barked tree is, I really don't think it's a birch. It could be a full-size aspen.
And if it is aspen, as a woodworker, I would like to know what good applications there are if you find a down one like that big one.
Yeah. Well, that's, you know, that's another piece we've discussed. This is, I don't think this is political, but it is a institutional thing and a question, right? And that is, I understand that oftentimes the corporate and political machine dictate what the country's or states or counties' money gets spent on. It's generally not the average citizen that gets to pick. And I know that, sadly, parks and forests and things like that have been historically low on the list as far as volume of money received, which I don't agree with, but that is what it is. But that being said, I'm always a big fan of finding practical solutions that are a win-win-win instead of the park wins and the people lose. And I've often wondered why state, federal, or county forest services and or park systems don't.
Hold on 1 second. I want to take a picture of the root system because I feel like that's part of the clue.
Okay.
So I'm going to get down a little closer.
So anyway, so the park systems, why they don't enter into a private contract with people to remove wood, because in a lot of places managing the forest would make it way healthier, meaning, you know, and I think a lot, if anybody's watching here from the West Coast and the Rocky Mountain or the northern east regions where timber is a big industry, you know that managing means cutting down trees. It means cutting down trees that are close to dying in their age so that it can make space for other trees and keep the forest floor and the other trees healthy, and they don't overcrowd and become a fire hazard. So if you were to, you know, have a management program for these parks where you say to someone, anything that has come down you can take out, and then we mark so many trees per year to manage and cut so that other things have a chance to equally grow up and the forest stays healthy. And then at the end of it, when you sell all this hardwood, the state gets 30% or whatever it is, a portion of the contract. That's your, you know, your payment for getting to harvest the wood from these publicly owned lands. So it literally becomes a win-win. It creates a job and an industry for a local person. It sustainably harvests hardwoods.
Oh, there's one right by the trail. I could have taken any of these.
And then it puts money back into the system that isn't extra tax burden and keeps the park nice. So get on that, Maryland. or any other state. You know?
If they have a program like that, tell us about it. We're curious to learn.
Yeah, I mean, like this tree right here has obviously been knocked over by the wind. Whether the tree has some disease or not, I don't know. But my guess is that that is many dollars worth of board feet of hardwood. And if someone was to come back here with a smaller tracked vehicle and cut this into 20-foot lengths and drag those via the trail out of here.
I don't know, there's a lot of holes in it.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
You know, this one here, I'm sure there's good wood in this tree, and this other one. You know, I realize they fall for a reason, but
I was just looking up if aspen was a hardwood because I was curious and I had enough signal. So it is a hardwood species, but it is often offered by the majority of softwood manufacturers. It is notably used for making matches and paper where its low flammability makes it safer than most woods.
so this is basswood?
What?
Is this, so this is basswood?
No, aspen.
Aspen.
No, I'm just reading about aspen. I don't know that it's
Oh,
aspen.
I gotcha.
I'm just saying aspen is a hardwood species, but it's actually considered a softwood, and they use it for matches and packing material. They shred it,
Interesting.
and then apparently it's less flammable. Very many things to learn if in fact that's an aspen.
Well, and then it's,
This is going to be the last hike where it's a question.
okay, yeah, so
That's
here,
what I promised to know.
here's another piece too, a little identifier, because someone has carved their, you know, their love for whomever, not for trees, into this tree, and it is scarred and is stained. So it's like one of those trees where when you put your initials in it, it's in there for 100 years. So that's kind of interesting too. Here's more of that,
Are there
although this looks pretty fresh.
ones that are not like that? That is
Yeah.
upsetting.
Well, there are ones that basically, if you damage the bark, new bark grows over it, it disappears. There are other trees where you can see, because of the way the tree grows, that basically forever it's in there. You go to, you know, really old outdoor areas where someone has carved June and Cyrus 1899, like literally, you know. Well, here's blue after the fact. Because
we want you to hike, but we might also want you to get lost.
so interesting, I'm just noticing too, I guess like is the case in many
Little bridge.
parks around here, that people come and drive and hike a half a mile to whatever the thing is they want to see, in this case the waterfall, to take tons of selfies for Instagram. And this portion is like, we haven't passed a single person since we climbed up this big hill and went into the back part of the park.
Yeah, that's why I said I was pretty sure we saw most of the people in front of the trail.
Yeah, so the first mile is just non-stop people and you're tripping over them.
Once you're through it though.
And you get back here and there's nobody out here.
This is lovely.
But, you know, here you go. Again, lots of blowdown. And this certainly doesn't look rotten.
Yeah, look at this piece.
Yeah, I mean, look
Imagine.
I mean, that right there is, you know, I don't know how many feet that is,
That's oak, right?
but that's, I believe so. That's a 40-foot, you know, main house joist right there. And that's got to be, you know, 2 feet around, 24. So 24 by, 18 main beam for your log cabin. Yes, sir. And I mean, this one they cut all up.
Yeah, but it would
So this one looks same deal. Like, that's not rotten.
Yeah, all the way down.
So.
It makes me sad. I mean, you understand the practicality. How do you get it out? But it does feel like a shame.
Yeah.
And you're right, a lot of them look like flow down, and they look like they were decent trees. I'm wondering if their root system just got too shallow for their height. Because look at their roots.
Yeah.
They're not very deep root sets.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I know, root dieback happens when a tree gets diseased and, it's trying to put its energy from its root system into healing itself.
Well, we had this conversation about pruning, didn't we?
Yeah. It was weird. It was a person talking off in the distance, but it sounded like a bee. You know how like in the summertime you have a fly or a bee that buzzes around your ear? It was like zzz, 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 but it was somebody talking.
This is a very squelchy trail. This is an ASMR hike if I shut up.
Maybe.
Oh.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Good. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thing that was written that we failed to read.
Yeah.
Nice. And I feel like a real dummy.
Oh well.
So it really looks like this just went straight over.
It might just be, so the interesting part of this is it might be that it was causing an erosion problem, and that's why they closed it.
Nature restoration.
Yeah. So is it there or is it here?
Well,
I think it's this, baby.
trail.
Yeah, but so is this.
Wait a minute.
I really do think it's this.
Okay.
But again,
I remember.
yeah, let's just go this way a little bit and see if this is on my map, if this is where, I believe this is the one I want. But again, this is where, come on, Marilyn.
So it's a lovely, the trails are lovely. The woods are lovely. It's not technical, although a little rocky in the front end of it. But it does give me a little bit of stress because I don't know where the flip I am.
Yeah, well, again, as you pointed out, you can't really get lost.
No.
Because you hike 2 miles in any direction and you're going to hit a road.
It just might not be the road you want.
Yeah, but it might be 4 miles away from where your car is. So.
People, stop carving. Stop carving on trees, please. There's blue on both trails.
Yeah, I know. It really is like, I know one of these, let's take the top trail. Because I really did, when I look at the overall map, basically once you get on this part of the loop, if you stay to the right the entire time until you come to the main trail, there is nowhere else to go. It doesn't connect to anything. So if you stay to sort of the outside of the loop as you're going counterclockwise.
I don't mean to be critical of the Parks Department, but I really have never been anywhere where I've seen trail marking split as many times as it does here.
Yeah.
Where you can literally see 2 or 3 different same colored trail markers on different paths from one vantage point.
Yeah. Now it is very confusing. Again, you can't really get lost. It's not like you're going to get lost out here and die of hypothermia and get eaten by a bear.
Right.
We're only 2 miles from
not know how long it's going to be.
But You know, if you come hiking on this with, like, let's say little kids, and you're like, oh, well, my 5-year-old loves to get out in the woods and it's good for him, but he's only good for a couple miles, and you try to pick a section of trail to hike, you might find yourself 3 miles from your car.
And this is pretty much the same conversation we have every time we take
Yeah, so I am correct, because off in the distance I can see somebody's house. So I know we've got to the top of this section up near the community that's on the south side of the park. So
got some calibration difference between my apps.
yeah.
Nike says 2.3 miles.
Uh-huh.
Fitbit says 4.14.
Really? Well,
now Fitbit's checking my morning stuff, but there's no way that I even went a mile this morning.
yeah. So I will tell you that there is a short trek that's basically straight down to the falls and to the parking area and then straight back up, but you know, whatever, 500 feet or 1,000 feet to the west, you know what I mean? So it's just like a very narrow,
9-mile one?
I think so. And we went to the outer edge of this area, so I think that we actually may wind up hiking almost 5 miles, which I'm totally good with.
Yeah, I am too. That's why when it said 2.3, I'm like, I think it's if you know which part of the blue 75 blue trails to take.
Yeah.
Is it 2.3? But I think we're taking the longest version, which is definitely longer than that.
Yeah. And again, if you're super familiar with this area, I'm sure that, you know, I mean, when we were kids, we used to go hiking in the woods all the time, and it was private property trails, and we knew exactly how to get everywhere, you know, because we did it all the time.
What is this?
Interesting piece of poured foundation rock.
Okay, well here is an interesting landmark.
Yeah.
We're on the path that's got the poured foundation rock.
Yeah, and there's some old barrels and things down here, so I'm assuming there was
we
probably
have definitely been this way before.
a mill or something through here. Oop. Here's some more concrete down here with a big giant bar. This could have been a railroad bed of some sort. So.
I do that, and I'm like, oh. Like everything gag me.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi there. Okay, we saw them on a different part of the loop. So,
Did we?
yeah, we passed them
Okay.
a third time.
Yeah, then we're lost.
But right now, we're still okay.
Well, that's good because they probably started from the parking lot. So they're going the opposite direction as we're going on the same longer loop. So good sign. I'll tell you another, since this is like the political issue of go take a hike, where we solve the world's problems.
As they relate to hiking?
Yeah, as I look at, as they relate to park systems anyway, and the national condition, and I see all this downed wood here. What would be a fantastic thing would be, not that I'm, yeah. Not that I am saying that the American citizens shouldn't have gotten checks to sustain themselves over the pandemic, because I believe that allowing people to starve or whatever is horrible. But, you know, was it FDR that put together the system that put everybody back to work, if you will? You know, and having a system where maybe we spend money and pay people to do actual work that is safe to do in a pandemic. Sawyering would be one of those things. To have a force of federally funded group of foresters who get distributed to states for state parks that come and maintain and clean up our public lands for that same $2,000 check, and actually get out and do something productive for the money that they're being given in a safe way, because they're outside and they can easily space themselves away from other people working. Maybe that would be a good idea. All right, so I'm gonna go, here we go, Maryland DNR, Blue Trail that way.
Trail this way.
Blue Trail that way, and if we go this Blue Trail that way, what do you think? Which one do you, which is the, this is like
Goldilocks.
there was a game show, right? Which is the actual Blue Trail? Is it that one? Is it that one?
Guys, I know this
Or is it that
falls for me.
Right.
I'm guessing you guys are one of these.
I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go with this one. But we have run into you again.
I know.
I don't want to see you a third time though.
Fingers crossed. Goodbye.
Oddly satisfying noise.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember what it was. But I do feel like there was a game show where it was like one person was the real thing and everybody else had to lie about being the thing, and you had to discern which one was the real one by asking a bunch of questions. And I feel like we could play that game with this trail system.
And based on the number of forks, it's an almost infinite game. I know mathematically it's not, but it feels that way.
Hey guys.
Hi.
His ability to just go, 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 no matter what sport it is. Incredible.
Super money.
It's such a specific sound. Remember making mud patties as you were when you were a kid, playing in the mud?
All right, so I can hear the falls again. So we must be coming towards the main trail.
Okay, so this one needs to get cut.
Yeah, I saw one on this side too, yeah.
It's big.
So yeah, we definitely have done way more than 2.7 miles or whatever, because it's starting to get a little bit dark, which is our MO.
Yeah, it's 420.
Yeah, 420.
420. I'm so turned around. I don't know which direction I'm going right now.
I mean, I believe we're going towards the road.
Hello, E-Trail.
Well, I really do think we're right where we need to be. Let's hope.
Wow, look at that pool.
Yeah.
I suppose if you got really desperate, you could get down and walk along the water.
Oh yeah. Well, again, just walk in one direction on the trail and you will
Well, here's the problem.
get somewhere.
Back and it's uphill and downhill. That's why I said I don't know which direction I'm headed in.
I always feel like there's that weird instinct that south is downhill,
Oh, it's definitely for me.
but it's not. because we were going uphill and we were going south for sure.
I think I see.
Yeah, I can see houses and I can hear cars. So like I said, I'm pretty sure we are going to come out, if not exactly where we started, very close to where we started, and we can figure it out. We have certainly made it back to the right section of park.
It was definitely more than 2.2 miles.
Yeah. Agreed.
Which is why neither one of us thought the trail was that short. Because it never has been. We don't know which path it is.
I just think we've never managed to stay on the actual Cascade
How can you
waterfall loop because it's so confusing that you always wind up doing 3 times what you think you're going to do.
Well, there's like 3 branches every
Right.
single
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, you don't know where you
Well, you going
There's
back
the Hansel
towards
and
the
Gretel.
waterfall,
Yes.
so that is, you're definitely going the right direction to do that.
Blue, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
no.
I mean, yes.
You're
The
gonna
fact of
hear
the matter
water,
is,
but we didn't get back down to the water going that
yeah,
way.
the fact of the matter is that there's tons of places where the blue is like 3 different directions.
Connected.
Yeah,
But
and they all say blue.
I will
Or they
say
don't have
that if you kind of stay to the left from here,
Okay.
you can only go so far left, and
Right.
there's nothing else there.
Right.
It will eventually get you back down to the parking area near the Cascade Falls.
Okay.
If you go to the right,
You'll just
there's
stay
the
on loop.
potential of going way up the park.
Okay.
But you will eventually end up at the falls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But so
Just might be in the middle of the night.
we planned on
Yeah.
taking like a 3-mile hike, and we're like
Yeah.
we're clocking almost 7 because we're like, which is
We were like, maybe
fine.
this one, maybe
But
that.
but
the beauty of hiking.
And we're like out here going, I don't have a signal. I don't know exactly.
yeah, no service, can't see anything.
so, and I will mention, just so you know, we just started this vlog called "Go Take a Hike,"
Uh-huh.
which you'll probably be on now.
know.
So YouTube it. But I really do feel like it said like 2.5 or whatever it was. It's like short, you know. And I was like, oh well, that's not going to be a very long hike.
Off of the road
Yeah,
in a different place than we did. So this is not where we came in.
yeah. But I think that the trail goes and connects to this along the roadish. I
Oh,
think.
it might. I'm just saying their path to get to the falls is going to be a very different one.
Yeah.
Knowing
my-
how close we are here, I would have almost sent them back
Yeah.
on go that
I
way.
don't know. It's so this is definitely a different place, but I think it's exactly the same in a way. No, I think this is where we crossed. I think. No?
Trust me, I know my rock treachery.
Okay. Come on, Billy, go. You can go. You can do it.
Hey, don't pressure me. I got this. I gotta take a minute to pick my path. Always the pressuring. So much pressuring.
But I'm thinking when we first came on, there was a sign that showed it going both directions, right? We could go left or right to start, and we started going right. So I'm thinking that this might be the other part of that, and it really is the same trailhead. But we'll find out in a
Might
minute.
be, but then they took the wrong path. Girls, come back. Oh, so they went straight past instead of that way.
Yeah. Well, no, they started back from where the falls are. That's what they're saying. They got up here, but they're like, we don't know where we are.
Oh, I thought they wanted to go to the
So no, they do, back to the falls to where the parking lot is, which is where they started. That's my point.
They're doing the opposite of that.
Yes, correct. And so this is where we came in. We just started going that way instead of here. So
Wait,
boom,
what do you mean?
and we're back.
You're standing right here and there's 2 different blue trails? You mean that sign there that goes like this?
Yeah. You know, of course people do go both ways.
Sorry. I think it's a good sign though, as much as I complained about it, that for a loop, we
Yeah.
started on one end
And we came out
the
exactly
other.
where we, you
So-
know, there was a lot of guesswork.
It was a little stressful. It'd be nice to have a map.
Yeah, so there it is. We will, I'll do like a post hike piece, and probably I'll put some information in here about how long we just hiked. But that is the Cascade Falls Trail in Patapsco State Park. We illegally accessed it from Landing Road.
You scofflaw.
I know, because you know, I don't know who it is that has decided that it's against the law to park on public roads, it's against the law to hike on public land or public trails, but you know, there it is. They're telling us that safe parking is available off Route 1 in Elkridge. So don't do what we did. This is not a how-to guide. Go to 5120 South Street and pay the state of Maryland to park your car on a parking lot. But we hope you enjoyed this this hike. We did actually wind up coming right back to where we started. That was a good one. I'm gonna say it was a little over 5 miles. That's what I think. But we will put the exact number right here, and you'll probably see it at the beginning of the video as well, because we will then, while I'm editing, know how long the hike actually was, and what route we took. But until next time, like this video if you did. Share it maybe with your friends. Tell them about Go Take a Hike. Comment below.
Subscribe.
Certainly.
Notifications.
Yeah. all the things that you do to appease our googly masters in the YouTube algorithm. And I would also say that if you are seeing this for the first time and you're local in the Baltimore, Central Maryland area, DM us, come on a hike with us. We would love to have other people along on these. We're certainly trying to do it socially responsibly. We are vaccinated and boosted, and we're keeping our distance from people so we can sort of be part of the solution. If you are the 2 young ladies that we saw on the trail, awesome to see you.
Hope
if
you
you're
got
the
home.
dude that we saw like 7 times because you were lost too, good luck, and we'll see you on the next hike.
Bye, guys.
Hey, go take a hike.